went with pretty much no money.
£576.
The next biggest one was tolls.
Within a month, hopefully, we'll be on a plane going to Asia.
Hello, I'm Reanne and this is my husband Ben. We sold our business, rented out our house and quit our jobs to travel the world for a year.
What we're doing this video for is to kind of tell you a bit more information on a Euro trip. We had so many messages, so many people saying like this is like they would love to do what we were doing, how much did it cost us, what was our budget, and all of them questions. So we're going to answer them now. First of all, we're going to start with, obviously, we kind of randomly just left, didn't we? We had planned to do that trip, but with issues...
It was a total like spare of the moment thing, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, but we were having troubles with our house, weren't we? We were planning to do it after we exchanged and completed on our house, but we're back home a week later, and we still haven't exchanged. So it's lucky we just went. We went with pretty much no money. I did all the driving, as you probably see in all the videos, and Ben is going to explain why this is, because he has got a driving licence.
Yeah, well, sort of. I don't want to repeat myself because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but 2 years ago I had like a mini stroke and it's caused problems to my eyesight, so I'm like sort of blind on one side. I've got no peripheral vision. That's why, well, and they've suspended my driver's licence. That's why I'm not driving.
And sometimes, if you notice, sometimes he's a bit more slower on speech. No offence, Ben. But this is part of the brain injury.
I've not noticed that.
Oh, okay, he's not slow of speech, he just talks like that in general.
Yeah.
But this is part of his boxing, and he got 2 bleeds on your brain, was it?
Yeah, 2 bleeds.
And wrecked his vision.
Yeah, a lot of trauma.
Let's just say he wasn't being sensible when he was training and that. But that's in the past, he's better and healthy, but he can't drive, so they've suspended his driving licence.
Yeah, it was quite relaxing for me, it's a relaxing time.
And I hate driving.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with this then, Ben. Do you want to start us off? How many days was our trip?
The total time we were travelling for was 16 days. We started at Portsmouth in England on the south coast, and our target was to get to Naples, towards the bottom of Italy.
And this took us, so we obviously didn't go the most direct route. We kind of went off to go and see certain things, like we had to go to Liechtenstein and random weird places.
We had to cross a few really small countries we had to cross off.
This made our miles a lot more, so yours might be a lot shorter than ours, but this is the route we took, and obviously we only did it in 16 days. I think you could easily have done this 6 months.
So this is the route we done. So we went from Portsmouth down to Dover, into France, then into Belgium, up through Belgium, and then we went to Luxembourg, then we went to Germany, then into Switzerland, then into the north of Italy, down through Italy, then we went back up into the north of Italy, and then all the way through France, and then home.
And do you want to know how many miles this was?
So it was 4,740 kilometres, that's about 3,000 miles, quite a distance.
And I did all the driving, just remember that, people. Well, Ben took naps.
I didn't take too many naps.
Yeah, I think you only had one, you were quite good actually.
I was quite good.
Next question, a lot of people asked, what was our budget? Our budget was to spend as least amount of money as possible.
Yeah.
Because we had no money. Most of this, bad or no, went on a credit card. We have got a house sale going through at any minute, but obviously at the moment we've got no income and we're living literally day by day. So probably don't do it the way we did, but
probably want the most sensible time to go.
And that is why we literally lived in our car. We could not physically afford accommodation. We're going to tell you to start off with the petrol. So petrol, that affected us a lot, didn't it?
Yeah. So you got to remember, like obviously here in Europe, all the way across Europe, and most places in the world, fuel's ridiculously expensive. Especially here in Europe, it's so expensive. And
as the trip went on, it just kept going up.
Yeah, just everywhere. So our total on petrol was €665. That's £576.
Whew. And that was just on petrol. And remember, we had no money. Next, ferry. Obviously, all around the world, you'll obviously be taking different routes, flights, whatever to get into Europe. But if you're coming from England, this is what we did.
We went Dover to Calais, which is the shortest route over to France.
About an hour and a half on the ferry, but that was £80. And that was with our car, so I thought that was quite good. So on the way back, we went from Caen in France to Portsmouth, where we live, which was ideal.
It's ideal, yeah.
Yeah, we're literally a 10-minute drive from the ferry port. That was a 6-hour ferry ride, so it was a lot longer, and it cost us £160.
Yeah, it's a nice boat though.
Yeah, it was nice. It's old school though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, a bit dated.
That was alright, that was easier, and we just wanted to get home obviously at the end of the trip. And the day before we had some issues with our car. Obviously we had, what was it that came up? The engine, we had
The
an engine
engine,
song coming up, so we were a bit worried. It come off by the end of it, and I've
Yeah,
had no
that's
issues
right.
since then, but we kind of wanted to get home after that. The next biggest one was tolls. We didn't even like add that into our cost at all, did we, at the beginning?
No, we didn't think about it, did we?
We didn't know. Like, my dad kind of warned us on tolls, but we were like, yeah, it's a couple quid.
Total on tolls was €183, which is £158.
And to add on, enter Switzerland, you had to get like a sticker, go on the front of your windscreen, and that was it using their roads, wasn't it? Tax for their roads.
Yeah, she said you can't use the highway without it.
Yeah, so that was £30 as well. Add that on to the tolls as well, that is £188. Whew, just on tolls. Alright, our other cost was others. We've just done a bit of parking. We tried to avoid parking, but obviously when we went into Paris, you had to park in the main one. And food, a bit of food we sometimes ate out, had coffee and all other little bits and bobs.
So that added up to €388, £336.
Which ain't bad.
Food and drink and...
Yeah, just extras.
Yeah.
So we paid for no accommodation, where we stayed at things called Airs, which is a free place you can stay.
So these airs were everywhere. They're on the side of the highway. Pull up, you can refill water, you can dispose of your toilet waste, all sorts of things with camper vans. All the ones we found were totally free. So yeah, that's one of the best things about travelling in Europe. Free showers, free toilets. They've normally got like a restaurant or a Burger King or a McDonald's or something.
So we worked out, if we did do hotels a day, average cost £50, would you say, a day?
50 at the low end, over 100 in the more expensive
Switzerland
places.
and that. We couldn't find a hotel for under £100.
Yeah.
Which would have added £1,000 onto our costs. So we're going to give you our total now for petrol, ferries, tolls, others, everything. This is our total cost for a whole trip, but obviously no accommodation. And I'll let you say it, Ben. Go on. This kind of shocked us. We were quite surprised how much we actually spent.
Yeah. So it was £1,340.
That was a lot more than we planned to spend for 16 days. You have to understand, if you plan to do this trip, it isn't cheap.
No, but then if this is on your bucket list and this is something that you really want to do, you'd probably save for it, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just go on a whim and put it on your credit card like we did.
And you could spread it out. We did it 16 days, is probably months worth of travelling.
If I had a camper van, I would have done a month in France and a month in Italy.
Obviously, it depends how you want to do it. It's Europe. Europe's not going to be cheap. We were worried. We did a shop before we left, about 50 quid worth of food.
Yeah, we didn't even know how to use it.
Yeah, we were stupid because everywhere in Europe's the same price as England. Like, it used to be England was the cheaper one and everywhere is more expensive. And I swear Germany was cheaper.
Germany was cheaper and the beer was well cheap.
Oh, a crate of beer, what was it?
A crate of beer was like €9 for like 24 beers.
You regret not buying it, don't you?
Every day.
He wakes up in the night screaming.
Your beer in Germany, the beer's cheaper than water, so...
Yeah, we did find that, didn't we?
Yeah. But actually, most places, Italy was like that as well.
In Switzerland, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think my hot chocolate was the same price as your beer.
Yeah, so I think if you're going to save money, just drink beer.
That is us pretty much telling you the cost and everything of our Euro trip. If we didn't cover anything or you want to know anything else, comment down below and ask us. We're open for anything. A bit crazy and a bit wild with our planning and where we go. This is probably a really good thing. We even wrote this down.
We do things like without thinking, but then we do try and record what we're doing just to let other... Because we make mistakes like you don't have to. That's what we do.
Well, the whole reason we did this trip was to do our 4/7 Wonder of the World, and if you've watched our video, you know that massive fail. It's close to 3:30 and the tickets are sold out. Ugh.
Yeah, but the thing is, like a Ryanair flight from England, Luton Airport or whatever, budget airline, £20, so we can go, we can do that whenever. So what next for us? Next for us is Asia. So we've been home probably longer than we wanted to be. It was all to do with our house, but our house is sold, it's exchanged, we're waiting to complete. As soon as we get completed, we'll have money, we can book a flight. Within a month, hopefully, we'll be on a plane going to Asia.
Big things coming from OTWD.
So we'll leave it there, right? Make sure you like the video, subscribe, press the little bell button so you get notified, so you don't miss all our Asia trip coming up, and we'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, goodbye.
Bye. So, add that on to all our tolls. Add that on to the toll.
On the side of the highway.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah.
Thirsty.